Welcome to the Heart-Centered Entrepreneur Podcast. I want you to be rich. Yes, I want abundant financial success for your business. But I don't just care about your business making money. I care about you too. I want you to be rich in happiness, in the impact you make, in your relationships, and in how you give back. I'm Anna. I built my six-figure business as a side hustle while I was pregnant with my daughter in 2016. Now I've helped dozens of women do the same. I'm here to help you build a profitable, heart-centered, fully booked business with the latest tips on sales and visibility, with proven mindset hacks, and sneak peeks behind the scenes with what's working right now in the online space and in my business. Ready to make more money with heart? Let's go.
Oh my goodness. Okay, when you hear this podcast episode, I will be in Spain, you guys, or very shortly in Spain. And it's really wild. I'm about a month and a half out from it now. And this is the perfect time for me to actually record and talk about it because, you know, about 6 months ago, I did our big things, booked our plane tickets, booked the language school, booked our Airbnb, right? But I went through some really hard personal things. And so it kind of took me out of it. And so just in the last week or so, I've got back into planning mode and done all the things I needed to for our train tickets and more of the minute stuff day to day. And it's becoming so real. And I've just been crying and so grateful and so excited. And I wanted to share with you just a few different things that I've been thinking and processing and how I was able to make this happen, especially as a single mama, especially as someone who doesn't identify as an international traveler. I really hate to travel in the sense that I really love my boring life. I think I've been through a lot of hard things, as many of you have. So because of that, I really enjoy my stability. I really enjoy my routine. I like my bedtime. I like to read my books. I like to play my record player. I like to go to yoga. I like to eat dinner out with my girlfriends. I like to take my kids to the park. That's me, right? And so I just really want to talk about this because I feel like it's a new take that maybe you haven't heard before. Also, in addition to how I'm navigating balancing my business. And I would just love to hear any questions that you have too. And I'm happy to chime in and do more content on it. But I just want to talk about a few things that I've been thinking in light of this and how special it is, how grateful I am, and how I feel like it's accessible to way more women than we think. Because especially after COVID, whether you have a day job that's remote or whether you have your business, or even if you have a traditional job, I just feel like work is a lot more accommodating to travel and extended leaves. I really think it is our mindset that holds us back and really overcomplicates it, especially because for me, I'm someone that's highly responsible and a planner. So I think for women like us, where we're sensitive, we're planners, it can feel really inaccessible. But I just want to say, as sensitive, high planning women, we're actually the most capable to do this. So I really feel like one thing that I embrace that I've been thinking about is how I really decided to do it, even though I didn't quite feel ready. I remember this when we did our 10-day trip to Ireland. And for me, in all big decisions in my life, I have to get to 80%. And that's enough. Buying my house, I got to 80%, did it. And I'm like, oh my God, best decision ever, right? I think so often we see the pros and cons in things. Yes, there's amazing things about being abroad for a month, but there's also some downsides, right? Leaving your routine or whatever. And I think I just stopped waiting for it to feel perfect. And I stopped waiting for someday. And I was like, okay, this is good enough. This is what I want now. And I'm going to do it in a way that feels good to me. So for me, what we're going to do is basically live abroad in one city, and we're not going to visit. We're going to do some weekend trips on the train, but we're just staying in one city for a month. And for part of the time, my kids are going to be in language school, right? Both my kids are studying Spanish. I'm also going to be studying Spanish. But for me, I really thrive. I love being a mama. Right? But I also thrive on alone time. Okay. I thrive going to yoga, going to Pilates. And so for me, that feels fun. What doesn't feel fun is going international for a month and going to 17 different cities and stressing myself out. What feels fun is going to one city. And so for me, really creating this and really releasing I actually haven't heard of anyone doing this. I'm sure people have, but no one in my circle. And so I think so often as entrepreneurs, we need to use our imagination and creativity for our business, but guess what? We also need to use it for our life. And I feel like my business started making way more money when I stopped getting all my dopamine hits from my business. I let it be boring and stable. And I started living this really fantastic life that was my boring version of success. And so for me, I was like, you know what would make a vacation fun? If I could do bar and Pilates and yoga and learn Spanish, but not here, right? I have a Spanish tutor I do online here in San Diego. But like, for me, it was like, ooh, how can I recreate and reimagine this and work towards this? And be patient to see it come alive, but not wait for someday. Because what that does is I think it keeps us from solving the actual obstacles of what we need to solve to make it happen and making it our version of what we want. Okay, the next one is I really made sure that I was building a business income that wasn't just tied to my output and effort. I don't want you to get this confused with you have to have like a perfect passive income funnel to do this, right? Because God knows I don't. Like things are not perfect in my business, but I do make really great money on part-time hours. And what I love helping my clients do is whether they have a done for you business, like they're an OBM or a VA or an accountant or a website designer, or whether they do more like coaching, group coaching, masterminds, info products, right? DIY courses, whether they're a one-on-one coach, you can create a business that is free and flexible where it's not all tied to you, your effort to make money, right? This happens when you hire a team. This happens when you allow yourself to work ahead. This happens when you allow yourself just to have one or two offers. Stop creating so many offers. Stop creating complexity in your business. The more complex your business is, not the more money it makes. Money loves simplicity. The more effort that your income is going to take and be tied to. I could do a whole nother podcast episode on that. Let me know if you want me to. But for now, I just want you to hear, in order to build a business that isn't always tied to your effort, you need to keep it simple. Okay, the next one I wanted to talk about is really making peace with like letting go of perfection. Again, this is kind of related to the first one, but really feeling like I could make things good enough and I could be imperfect and do something like this. I think when we have a bucket list thing, whether it's writing a book or traveling or whatever, starting our business, we feel like our life has to be perfect, right? We have these invisible barriers of like, I need to be skinnier or I need to be more organized or like, in order to do this thing that is on my heart. Right? I experienced this when I started taking dance classes. I was like, oh, I need to be more organized in my business, or like, no, like you can work towards that big goal and also be working on those things in the back end. And my business is not perfect, right? And I think when I took a leave during my maternity, I took about almost 2 months off during my maternity. And I batched a ton of content, and I really had this perfectionist mindset where I felt like I had to, I batched too much content. I batched 6 months of content. Okay, that was not necessary. But I think I was in this mindset of like this black and white thinking of like it had to be like, oh, so for me, right, I'm leaving, but I'm going to be working part-time. So of the about 30 days I'm away, I'm going to be coaching for 2 of those days. Right? Because for me, number 1, I love to coach. Okay. Number 2, for me, it's a lot less effort to just keep on part-time working, like do some client e-support, right? Like for me, that again is a part of my happy, boring dream life, but it also means that I don't have to like do what I try to do in maternity leave, which is like completely unplug and like I call this when I train my clients working light. Right? A version where you're working, I'm actually going to be working like pretty light. I've done other vacations where I've worked like medium light. This is going to be pretty light, but I'm still going to be working. And for me, that takes a lot less effort. It takes a lot like just letting it be imperfect because I don't have to have my business. And sometimes we do this too, where we're like, these projects that we've had on the back burner forever. I know before my maternity leave, I was like, I have to finish all these projects before I leave. Those projects hadn't been done for like years in my day job, right? Because I was like doing a lot of different people's jobs. The truth is that I could take a break for 6 weeks, come back, and those same problems would be there and everything would be fine, right? You don't have to solve all of your problems to go on vacation. right? Like really triage, like what is the actual thing? And I feel like I'm so much better at that, right? Really letting my business be good enough. Yes, I want to sell in advance, but also it's safe for me to not have this unreasonable, like for me, I think the goal when I was quitting my job and doing my business and going on my maternity, I had some goals around how much recurring revenue I wanted to make and how much savings. But for me, it was like, I just wanted to replace my day job income, right? Some people are like, in order to quit my job, I have to like triple my income. Like, how can you let this be transitional, right? Instead of making the bar so high to start your coaching business, to quit your job, to go for a month abroad, right? Like think about that dream that's on your heart. Maybe it's, I don't know, like a hobby, going to yoga classes. Like what are these invisible things that we tell ourselves we have to do to be more worthy of starting to baby step towards that? Right? Last year, I took the kids to LA for a week because it was just like a few hours from my house, but I really wanted to trial, like, how will they do if they're away from me for a few hours a day, right? In a different city. Like they did amazing. So I think it's just remembering that we're never fully going to be ready. We're never going to have it perfectly planned. And how can we like make that bar to entry lower? Okay. The next thing that's really helped me with this is really making sure I'm not confusing. I know at the beginning of my business, I was really confused between like, is this fear or is this my intuition keeping me safe, right? I'm someone that likes the safety net, that likes the plan. And I think similarly, like even now in my business, I always reckon with like, is this fear or am I being responsible, right? And I think when we do things that like everything in our life is going to be a risk. Like, yes, I bought travel insurance, right? Yes, we are mindful. But whether you are thinking about a risk in your business, starting your business, growing your business, or in life, I really think as women, we already are responsible. If you're listening to this podcast, I can guarantee you, you're responsible. Okay. The edge that you need to work on is trusting yourself, risking, realizing that staying stuck actually costs you time and money, right? Staying stuck costs you memories and moments, right? And so choosing life, choosing to live, choosing to risk is a form of responsibility, even though it comes with more unknowns, even though it comes with a lack of control. Right? Even though it comes with risk, really trusting yourself that you can be a long-term, big picture responsible person, even if in the short term it looks irresponsible. Okay. And I really think I have a much better hold on this, but I do feel like in several parts of my life and business, I really struggled with like risk aversion or uncomfortability or let go of control or change. I suck at change, to be honest. But I think it's remembering, I want you to hear this, put your hand on your heart. You are more resilient than you give yourself credit for. You are more responsible than you give yourself credit for. You are smarter, more adaptable, more intuitive. I just guarantee you, I guarantee that you are. And so I think when we fully channel into that queen version of us that is like, wow, I am really the sovereign matriarch that like knows what I'm doing and can trust myself. And like we get braver to make those bigger picture decisions that have bigger picture payoff, but that may require short-term discomfort. Okay, next one is I really feel like I've done good at building a business that can travel with me. Again, reminding yourself, you don't have to build a business that doesn't need you. Because for me, if I were to build a business that doesn't need me at all, I actually wouldn't like it. And I probably would go get a day job because I'm someone, as a heart-centered entrepreneur, we often like our work. Like we're creative, sensitive beings. So what brings us existential fulfillment? If you're a website designer, you love to design. Right? If you're a coach, you love to help people get breakthrough, right? And so I think, again, it's just really looking at like, how can I create a business that has boundaries, that has flexibility just permanently? For years, I have worked a 3-day work week and I have worked 3 weeks out of the month. And so for me, it was fair. I already built in a business that was part-time. I already built in margin. And so going from like some margin to like way more margin for a month actually was not that hard. Like it took like an hour brainstorming on a Google Doc how I was going to shuffle things around, right? But that's only because I already built in this business that is very flexible, very boundaried, and very supportive. right? I always tell my clients, when you have this doc that I have my clients walk through when they're going to go on some sort of leave, I call it scale your business and take a break. And the idea is everything you do to take a break in your business, whether it's for a vacation, a maternity leave, a European vacation like myself, everything you're doing to scale to get ready to leave is actually good for it anyway. It's actually just healthy scaling stuff. And so I feel like I launched my business doing my maternity leave. So I kind of from the very beginning, forced myself to scale, forced myself to trust team, forced myself to have boundaries, forced myself to say from the get-go, okay, I'm going to reply within 48 hours, not this like instant chat reply to clients, right? Like when you build your business on the 3-day work week, on the 3-week work month, it's very easy to have flexibility, whether that's for medical issues or kids stuff, or whether it's for travel. And I think for me, who's been through a lot of hard things in life, I think I become a little bitter at my business or life in the sense that I'm like, I work part-time, but it's for like stuff that I don't want to do. I don't want to have to deal with court. I don't want to have to deal with sickness, right? So I think I try to be really intentional about planning things that like, I don't know how I believe this, but have you heard that saying that it's like, okay, if you don't slow down, your body will make you sick and force you to slow down. I don't really believe that because I don't feel like sometimes sickness just happens, right? We don't deserve it. Just sometimes life. So I don't think you need to blame yourself for that. But I do really think that we need to proactively plan reasons for our business to be part-time, right? So that we don't accidentally call in problems that we don't need to on top of the problems lives, right? So for me in my everyday life, right, taking dance classes, going to yoga, going to lunch with my friends during the work week, right? Like you can build a part-time business even when you're not traveling, even when you don't have crisis, and just allows you to really easily slip into that if and when you do decide to. Okay. This last one is similar to what I talked about before, but I want to talk about it a little bit different in that I think I really had to be willing to let go of some stability in this chapter of my life. My word of the year this year is slow. I feel like I have slowed down in so many ways. But I also feel like you'd think that like slowing down would mean more stability. But I think, again, I've had chapters of my life that have been more like chaotic and survival based. And so for me, I've had to like come first full circle. And for a little while, I really obsessed about my stability, bringing up my income, saving my savings, buying my house, right? But I think, solidify my programs. But as you know from me in the last year, I've also, as I created stability, it opened the level to be open to more change and more chaos, not in a bad way, in a good way. Right? Change and growth is chaos, right? I think about the little garden we have in our backyard, right? Like it's beautiful, but it's a little chaotic, right? Like one day something's growing, one day it's not, one day it needs more water, like just very delicate. Life is so delicate when we enter a season of not bracing ourselves, but opening ourselves to change, right? And so I really feel like in this chapter, I've had to, like, as I think about like, yes, I want stable life for my kids. Yes, I want a stable life for myself, but also you can get too stable, right? And it's safe for you to go to the other side of creating experience, to creating connection, creating presence, creating magic, right? Yes, it's important to like follow the rules and follow the formula, but then we have to, after we do that, we get to break the rules and trust our intuition and just go into this more flowy, slow state of life that I think gets confused because I think we can really only create that after we've created stability, right? But I think we can't get stuck at stability. I think about this as I'm like attempting to date again, right? Like, yes, it felt safe to be single and create my life. And I appreciate that. But it's also safe to go into like, yeah, but it's safe to risk for connection, right? And I think I've talked about this, I can't remember which episode, but also on like how I, had my same program for 6 years. And then I really created a brand new one, 3-Day Entrepreneur, and it's going amazing, right? But I think it's like, as women, especially heart-centered women, we have to be willing to change and let go of stability a little bit. No, we can find our stability, but know that it's safe to let go of some stability because that's where the magic happens. That's where the magic happens, when we let go of the formula, when we let go of the edge of the pool and we swim out, right? for a little chapter when it was a little warmer outside, my girlfriends and I would go swim in the ocean. And I just remember like laying there out in the waves, which is a little bit terrifying because there's animals out there and seaweed and all the things, right? But just once you relax and let your body go, you just feel the waves, the light waves just carrying you and taking you. And there's just something about that surrender that's better than the stability. And if you're in a season of life of like of extreme chaos, like just ignore this because this would have like triggered the F out of me. But I do think it's like getting ourselves to stability and then being willing and ready and able to let go. And again, I don't mean ultimate stability because we're never going to be ultimately stable. Not that idea of like, you know, I was talking to a client who's getting ready and she was like, okay, before I sell my house, it has to be absolutely perfect and absolutely painted. And it's like, or you could just sell it as it is, right? Like, again, I think we put so many prerequisites, but like reminding yourself, no, I am actually fairly stable. I'm stable enough to risk for the memories, for the connection, for the things that are life. Life is short. I feel like we're not guaranteed or promised anything. And I just feel like we need to err on the side, especially as heart-centered entrepreneurs, heart-centered women, risking and trying. Launch that new offer, right? Let go of that client. Try a new niche. Quit your job. Right? You can trust yourself. You are someone that's risk averse. Like you're not going to do things haphazardly. You've already journaled and journaled and journaled. And the only thing left for you to do is take action. To take action. So anyway, those are some of the things I've been thinking about practically as I have been getting ready to go. And I hope that that's useful for you. And I hope whatever risk or change that you are on the precipice of, I hope you just do it. I hope you just do it. I hope that you see this as your sign and you know that I'm in here with you in it. We're doing this together and we can do this and we're stronger together. I am going to be doing for 2 of those 30 days coaching, and I would love for you to join me on it. I'm going to be doing a call for my program, Get and Coach Your First Client. So I hope you join, and I hope that you join me from Spain because I think there's just a magical energy to a work culture that values the life over working. I'm excited to experience it, and I hope that you join me while I'm over there. There is a free 20-minute workshop that you can watch, not doing sales calls for once, but you can watch the free 20-minute workshop that I have that explains everything about the program. It's 12 weeks. And I do a lot of live support. I review your worksheets personally. I'm in Slack answering your Q&A. We have live coaching calls. And I hope that you join me. And I hope you take this as a sign to take your risk on building your coaching business. Because I really feel like it's my coaching business that has 100% allowed me to do this. Right? Because I feel like I'm someone that even if my day job did allow me to do this, I wouldn't. I'm too hyper responsible, you know? And so I think there's something so beautiful about a coaching revenue stream that's ultimately flexible that you can take with you wherever you want in the world, whether you, like me, want to do a little coaching while you're abroad, or like many of my clients, they make it so they don't have to do any. They have support coaches. They have other things. And so I would love for you to join me. I'll put the links to everything and I hope to see you inside.
Thanks for hanging out today. Please hit that subscribe button so you can make sure to stay updated anytime a new episode drops. And I would love for you to join me in my free Facebook community. It's called The Heart-Centered Entrepreneur. We discuss the podcast episodes. I regularly go live and do free trainings. And you may even meet your newest biz bestie. So you can join at heartcenteredcommunity.com. It's absolutely free, and I cannot wait to see you in there.